Objective. After listening to this module, you'll be able to describe types of stressors or those things in our lives that have the potential to stress us out. Types of stressors. Of all the many different stressors, how many categories could we place them all into? Take a guess. Although they may overlap to an extent, there are 5 different categories or types of stressors. First of all, what exactly is a stressor? A stressor is considered to be a stimulus with the potential for eliciting a stress response and can be categorized into the following types. Physiological. A physiological stressor pertains to one's level of physical comfort or lack thereof, and usually stems from illness or injury. Think of how you feel when you're sick. It's stressful to not feel well. Being sick is definitely being out of homeostasis. Have you ever been in pain? And I'm not referring to minor pain like a cut on your finger, but major pain like from a broken bone or having major surgery. It's stressful. Environmental. Environmental stressors pertain to those that have to do with external environmental factors. Environmental stressors might overlap to some extent with physiological stressors because environmental stressors usually cause physical discomfort, but it's discomfort that results from environmental factors. Being too hot or too cold is an environmental stressor. If you grew up in a warm environment like Southern California and then you move to a colder environment like South Dakota, that can be stressful getting used to that cold white stuff called snow. Another example of an environmental stressor is excessive noise. Physiological responses on the body from noise can cause effects similar to chronic stress. So your heart rate and blood pressure, for example, can go up when it's too noisy, just as it would if you were experiencing emotional distress. A research article entitled "Shh, You're Killing Me" discusses the negative effects of quote-unquote noise pollution on humans. Believe it or not, the World Health Organization concluded that chronic and excessive traffic noise is responsible for the deaths of about 3% of people in Europe with heart disease because stress on the body from noise causes effects similar to chronic stressors, which produces a buildup of stress hormones, inflammation, and biochemical changes that can lead to impaired blood circulation and even heart attacks. Sociological. Sociological stressors stem from relationships or interactions with other people and can be very stressful. Examples include getting into arguments with friends or family members or dealing with the death of a loved one. Divorce or termination of a relationship is thought to be one of the greatest stressors. In fact, an individual who survived a concentration camp during World War II admitted that feeling rejected from a boy that she liked in a way was worse than the inhumane experiences she endured in a concentration camp. Rejection can be very stressful. Not only can it be very stressful when things are not right with friends and family members, it can also be stressful when things are not right with acquaintances or even strangers. It's stressful to feel offended with the rude cashier at the grocery store or to feel frustrated or angry with the abrasive customer service representative on the phone. Psychological. A psychological stressor stems from within yourself and pertains to your subconscious perception of yourself or your feelings of self-worth or lack thereof. Psychological stress is basically anything having to do with your relationship with yourself and or your level of self-esteem. Examples of psychological stressors include feeling depressed because you believe that you're not able to handle daily pressures or you feel inadequate to handle a particular situation. There's also some overlap with this type of stressor and the others because feeling depressed is technically considered psychological stress, but it may be caused by sociological stressors. Philosophical. A philosophical stressor stems from not living in congruence with your philosophy or your values and beliefs. An example might be guilt resulting from being lazy when you have a strong work ethic, or running late when you can't stand people who are always late, or having to do something that you consider to be a bit unethical as part of your responsibilities at work and then feeling guilty about it. Key points. Most stressors can fit into one of 5 categories: physiological, environmental, sociological, psychological, and philosophical. And that's it.